Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. My name's Roger Hanson, and I am doing my stream today with the topic of gaming. I have some more gaming, uh, news that you'd want to hear or that I can share on here that I thought was pretty interesting. Um, I also want to have a good conversation about some of the topics that I want to bring up. Before I get into all that, though, I do want to make uh, I do want to say hi to Karma Love. She's with me. Hi, Karma.
Hi.
With that, also, I do want to make a couple announcements. Next week, on Saturday, I'm going to have a pre recorded video that's going to take place at 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And the reason why I have to do that is because I have a person coming in here. His name's Zach, and he is known on YouTube and Discord for being into Disney and everything Disney. He's just obsessed with it. He's got his own podcast, and he's also in charge of a Discord channel called Home Away from YouTube, as well as his own channel. And he's going to come in, and we're going to be able to listen to him talk a little bit about the topic we had last week, me and Carmen, and about these amusement parks making video games into real life. See what his take is on it, and maybe be able to hear a little bit more about what he likes about Disney World and stuff like that. But we're going to do that early, and then I'm going to take the recording from that and stream it at 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time because I want it to be consecutive and I want it to be on schedule every day when I do my streams. So if you guys do want to be a part of it and you do want to listen and maybe make some comments, like I said, it's going to be 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and that'll be also, I believe it's 7 o'clock British savings time, or however that's made out, but British time. So if you guys want to be here for that, then you're more than welcome to. I'll post the link, and I will also post the link to Jitsi so that if you want to come on. But it's going to be kind of like we did with Pecos Dave, where he's going to kind of give a interview style thing, and then while he's giving the interview style, we can ask him questions and stuff and things like that, or what he thinks of the ideas that we discussed before. I do want to apologize, Karma, for messing that last gaming video up, because like I have your conversation in there, but I completely didn't or wasn't able to do my voice at all, and it turned out pretty bad. So
That's why I was gonna get on the video, but I was so behind schedule. So now I'm doing stuff that I probably should have done an hour ago. Like I said, I'll get on video. You're literally gonna be looking at me do my lashes, and that's just weird, right?
it's fine. Don't worry about it. I I I prefer the audio part of it all anyhow, to be honest with you. I mean, everybody's too big on this putting their face on the internet.
Yeah, I'm really skeptical about that because of AI. And I know for a fact that, and I understand whatever, but like, I know for a fact that the more you show, the more they know. And it's a computer. It's completely an idiot without you program it and teaching it what it is. It's no computer that just wakes up and says, oh, I know everything you like. No, it's being programmed. And so it's just likeliness being used. Okay, I would like to be compensated for my likeliness is being used. If I'm not being compensated for my likeliness, you know what I mean? Someone just
Yeah.
intercepted or screen recording you do. No, no, no. You're
Well,
gonna have to.
that's kind of the first topic that I wanted to get into because I don't know if you're aware of it, but like the video game industry is basically gone on strike, and they,
Hmm?
yeah, the video game industry looks like they're going on strike because of that issue.
Because of AI.
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, it has to do with wages too, but the thing is it's also because of protections against AI. You know what I mean? They're yeah, let me see if I can pull it up. Maybe I can pull it up on here and get it set up to where we can see it.
I know the more we do, while you're pulling that up, just to add, I know like the more we do in front of the camera, the more AI learns. Like that's what TikTok is all about. That's why they were pushing that ban for TikTok, because literally that's what it is. It's strategic movements, and they have you do these certain type of movements so that they're able to incorporate it in the usage of AI. And excuse me, the more you show your face on there, the more likely it is that in the future you'll be, charged for a crime that you've had nothing to do with, just because, you know what I mean, just like shadow banning, but a different type of shadow ban. It's like pretty much life banning you. So
Well,
it's like, oh,
I know
you.
musicians have even stepped up and said, look, and artists, just people who do artwork on the internet, and said, look, we never gave them permission. It's just this computer decided to snag our stuff off the internet,
Yep.
and and that was it, you know.
And who protects our rights from there? Like, what type of protection is there that AI is not allowed to do that? Because I've seen like AI of Elon Musk, AI of like Drake, of Kanye West, of like a lot of the female, like a lot of female likenesses, but it's mainly males that I see. But like, how do you protect from that? Like, who do you charge too? It's a computer, so who do you
Yeah.
charge? The person manning the machine? How do you find them?
Now
What if they make it look like it's not anyone?
the strike is through a group called SAG-AFTRA, and they announced on Friday that this post was made on September the 1st. They announced on Friday that it would seek authorization for a second strike against the major video game companies. The union said that talks on a new video game contract have reached a stalemate and that the strike authorization vote is needed as leverage to win wage increases and protection from artificial intelligence. So they want wage increases as well as protections from artificial intelligence.
So who is it that would like the protection? Is it the images in the game? So like they want it to be like, I guess, the patent or the copyright of the game itself to be protected, or is it certain people and what they're doing for the game? Like,
Um, the SAG-AFTRA is the union that's talking on a new video game contract. Is all I know. Now SAG-AFTRA. Let me see what it says about that. It's the writers' strike. Is what it looks like. SAG. Oh no.
so they're the people that write for the games. Okie dokie.
Now the SAG. Um, that SAG-AFTRA allows 3 AMC shows to resume production, including Walking Dead spin-offs.
Hmm.
So these guys basically have their hands in everything. They're the union, basically. The SAG Awards, have you ever heard of that?
I feel like I have, and that's the award for video game streaming. No, that's not
No,
for streaming.
that's for movies and stuff like that.
Oh no, I thought that was the Emmys.
Well, they have the SAG Awards where, like, and that's aimed more towards people who do, like, the editing of the movies and stuff
Ah,
like
the
that.
behind the scenes people. Right, right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Like, right here it says SAG-AFTRA to extend health care coverage for members who lost work because of WGA strike. Yeah, so apparently
What,
they,
what was the WGA strike?
I don't even know. SAG-AFTRA allows 3 AMC shows. You know what I mean? That's AMC.
Yeah, the
So,
movie theater.
so they basically, I would guess that it's just the acronym the uh, for the freaking people who are involved with the union in like Hollywood, and I guess now they're a part of video games too.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it says that the union said that talks on a new video game contract has reached a stalemate. So yeah, they got like a contract going for video games now too.
That's crazy.
And then they've got a separate contract with the major video game makers, including Activision and Electronic Arts. The contract was originally due to expire on November the 2nd or 7th, but was extended for a year to allow for further discussion. The talks are due to resume on September the 26th. So that's coming up.
So they just want to make sure that whatever they write is theirs and that they don't have to have any backlash because someone pretends or uses AI to kind of, like, I guess basically manipulate and pretend that it's something that they created. And then it backfires on them to where they're getting like a lawsuit or something. So they're asking for that type of protection as well as increase in their wages, like you said, which is obvious. They would like more money, but okay.
Yeah. Now, on the wage thing, SAG-AFTRA, is asking for an 11% retroactive increase in rates for video game performers. So the video game performers are the ones they want to get the pay raise on.
Oh, well, that's good. At least
that's probably what they're going for, is the game performers, because the people who do the voice-ins or they make the freaking models after. That's probably who they're talking about. You get a percentage from it.
And that's probably attempting to protect too. Then, in which case, they're like,
that's also followed by an increase of 4% and 4% identical to its asks from the film and TV studios, which that don't make sense to me.
Asking is so I guess whatever is asked. And they wanted identical for whatever the people are asking for the prices. Is that what it is? Is it ASK for ask? Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically how it says they're asking for the 11% retroactive increase in rates for video game performers, followed by increases of 4% and 4% identical to its asks from the film. Oh, okay. So they're asking for increases of 4%, like they're also asking from the film and TV studios.
Basically, like the royalty type thing. So I guess maybe whatever 4% increase of what they normally get. So whatever they normally get, they would like a 4% increase in regards to. I guess that would be similar to royalties if we were dealing with music type. Or
yeah, it could be.
That's what it sounds like. I could be. Yeah, sounds.
Now the union also wants protection from AI, which it says poses a threat to voice and performance capture artists in the video game field. In the statement, SAG-AFTRA president Fran Drescher blasted
What?
Fran Drescher. Yeah.
The nanny?
Yeah.
Annie?
Yeah.
Is in charge of video games? Come on.
She's in charge of the entire setup with the unions on this right here. SAG-AFTRA is
awesome. He's so cool.
Yeah. She's the nanny.
Yeah, she is. Awesome. I thought you were just like a play on names or something like that.
It's right there.
Go you! I love her. I grew up on the nanny. Like, oh my goodness, I love. She's just so unorthodox, but that girl, and she gets stuff done. She reminds me of. That's probably why. Yeah, I like her.
It says in a statement, SAG-AFTRA's president, Fran Drescher, blasted the video game companies for their greed and disrespect. Once again, artificial intelligence is putting our members in jeopardy of reducing their opportunities to work, Drescher said. And once again, SAG-AFTRA is standing up to the tyranny on behalf of its members. That's kind of like that's like the regular union kind of lingo. They always want to talk about tyranny and crazy shit.
And they're coming for you, and they're just, it's this hard authority. And it's like it might have just been someone playing around with some stuff, and it might got a little out of hand. But I see what you're talking about, because like it is very manipulative. You have to be careful, and if you're not discerning, some of that stuff, you could be fooled. Like, I've been fooled before, but I'm not an idiot. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you. Fool me 3 times, but we know what the rest says. But that's what I'm saying. You got to kind of like pay attention, because you can hear the difference in the voices. There's always usually like a pause type thing, either like, and I would like to do this. Okay, well, if it's like they have to pause all the time. They cannot, like me. I speak super fast with run-on sentences. If AI was to speak super fast with run-on sentences, it would like kind of overlap each other. I noticed that as well. And like, I don't like to even say what its mistakes are, because then it's like, how do we fix it? Okay, so this is what I gotta do. This is what I gotta do. I'm not helping you. You're not paying me to help you. Again, robots, you're gonna have to get somebody else, because I call AI robots. That to me, they're just all robots. Yeah. And there's like, even now on Snapchat, there's this guy, he comes in there, he's on Snapchat, and he's like, AI, I'm your personal AI. And I call him a robot. He gets offended. Like, I'm not a robot. It's like, you are a robot. I literally go just to piss him off. I'm like, yeah, hi, robot. I'm not a robot, but I understand. And I'll be like, okay, beep boop, beep boop, and like RD.
Now, the greedy part that I understand about it is like when I'm streaming. You know what I mean? Like, I understand how greedy these freaking these video game companies really are, because like say when I'm doing a stream of a video game, alright, I have to, on a crap load of these games, I have to turn the volume down. And they do this on purpose, because not only are the video games a bunch of crooks, but so are these musical artists. Okay, so what they do is they come to this agreement where the artists are allowing them to put this music on their video games, and they're like, yeah, that's cool, but then they don't want to allow the people who are playing the games and streaming them to freaking freely stream those games with the audio. You see?
Right.
So what happens is I go to stream that video game, and then all of a sudden Joe Blow, who's a musical artist, gets me for copyright infringement, and they'll let me freaking stream the video if they get the freaking money from it.
Which is wild.
Okay. So basically, I'm streaming their video game with this video game on my freaking channel, and these musicians are making money off of it, and I don't make a penny.
And I was about to say, and meanwhile, it's hype for them. They should be happy, because that's, oh man, I like that song. I heard that song on Roger Henson's channel, so I'm going to go ahead and, you know what I mean? I'm going to go listen to it now. They're not going to hear it now, because like you said, you're just going to turn the volume down, and oh well.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to be greedy like that, I'm just going to turn the volume down. They ain't going to hear a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
that's how they get me on my YouTube videos, because I always put music in the background. But it's nothing that a Shazam cannot do. If you really feel like you would like to sing a song or rap a song, Shazam it. You don't have to sit here and get me, because you know what I mean? I'm not putting every single artist. I have a hour and a half long playlist. No, I'm not typing every artist in the description box.
Yeah. It says here that Audrey Cooling, a spokesman for the video game company, said they look forward to reaching an agreement, and we all want a fair contract that reflects the important contributions of SAG-AFTRA. represented performers in the industry that deliver world-class entertainment to billions of players around the world. She said, "We are negotiating in good faith and hope to reach a mutually beneficial deal as soon as possible." SAG-AFTRA went on strike against the video game companies in October of 2016. The strike lasted 11 months. This time around, the union is seeking rest periods and safety protections in addition to the wage increase and AI provisions. The union was an on-set medic for video games, similar to current provisions in TV and film, and a prohibition against stunts during self-tape auditions. Ballots are due at 5 p.m. PT Pacific Time on September the 25th. The union will also hold informational meetings for affected members during the voting period. And that's
So
it.
people have already been a victim of AI crimes. Is that what the issue is?
They what is it? The union wants an on-set medic for video games, similar. Well, see, I don't know if you've been in too much into the news about the video game stuff, but there's a game that was out called Rust, and one of the actors that was on set ended up getting shot because
Oh my gosh.
because the gun wasn't inspected properly. So that might,
Are you serious?
yeah.
Is he
That,
alive still?
no, he's dead.
He got shot dead.
Yeah.
Oh, that family got some money. I know the money is not going to take away the pain, but there's no way. Are you kidding me? And then how
happened.
like what world? Oh my God. Could you imagine going to work and thinking that everything is just all props or dummies and you literally, oh my gosh. Oh.
That could be what they're referring to. They didn't say it openly in the article, so I'm not.
I never heard that. No, I didn't know something like that happened.
I'm not gonna say for sure if that's what it is.
Yeah, but you were just saying that is an example of something or a reason as to why they might be taken into consideration to make sure people have rights and protection against. But see, how do you protect against something like that? Because what if it was staged? What if it's on purpose? See, something like that has never happened before, and then all of a sudden it happens. I feel like somebody set them up.
Well, see, that's happened actually before. Like, you remember the movie The Crow?
Yeah.
Brandon Lee was shot on stage for the same reason. That's why he died. They've had incidents that's happened, like 2 or 3 of them, where people have died because of gunshot wounds. It's just,
From the props. That's ridiculous.
yeah. Now, after that, what I wanted to also discuss is 2 games. One of them was Baldur's Gate 3, and it came out here recently with supposedly the final cut of it. And
Do you have it?
no, I haven't got Baldur's Gate 3. No, they've got this is like the beginning, or like the brand new freaking release of it. And this is an article that is talking about the secrets behind the success of Baldur's Gate 3. And it says, "Hi there. Today we're explaining why Baldur's Gate 3 is a unicorn. But first, they wanted to do top news, gaming news, but then it goes to the critical hit, and it's right here. It says, the new fantasy role-playing game Baldur's Gate 3, which Baldur's Gate 3, if you don't know, is actually off of a role-playing game that is called Forgotten Realms. And Forgotten Realms is and Dungeons and Dragons are owned by a company called Wizards of the Coast that does Magic the Gathering card games.
I know Dungeons and
Yeah,
Oblivion, my main role play. Like I used to like live on Oblivion. Like that was. I haven't played it.
yeah. Well, that's where Baldur's Gate comes from. That's why it's so popular, and
Mm.
because it's kind of iconic when it comes to well, Forgotten Realms is kind of iconic for people who play it. It's kind of like an offshoot of Dungeons and Dragons, but they came out with a game and it has been hitting pretty good. The new fantasy role-playing game Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the biggest hits of the year, with rave reviews and the type of audience reach that any video game company would kill to achieve. We don't have sales numbers yet, but the one public metric, concurrent players on the PC gaming platform Steam, has been eye-popping. More than 800,000 people simultaneously played the game last weekend. And
That was just.
this article came out in August, or on
Oh,
August 18th, 2023. So that weekend before that, 800,000 people simultaneously played the game, and rendering it one of the top 10 most Steam games ever. Okay, and the success has led to no shortage of misguided internet discourse, mostly revolving around whether the achievement is replicable. With its impressive scope and array of possibilities, has Boulder Gate 3 raised the bar for RPGs? Or are other game studios incapable of accomplishing this sort of feat? And extrapolating further, why are players expected to put up with other big game nickel and diming them when something like Boulder Gates 3 can make a truckload of money with no microtransactions at all? And I have no idea what microtransactions are.
wouldn't it have to pay for like upgrades and stuff like that? Like the stuff like in-app purchases, kind of like it would be an in-app purchase. I'm unsure. I'm just listening, but it just sounds like that would mean something like that. Are there in-app purchases? Because if that, well, in game, I know it's not an app, but I'm just saying is a similarity in order for me to parallel and correlate. I was just saying like it may be something similar like to that.
Yeah,
um yeah.
that could be like what they're referring to, because like Dead by Daylight, they've got like the game you can get, and then you can go in and like get DLCs for like $1.25.
Yeah, those are the micro purchases. Yeah, that's what it.
And like that's probably what they're talking about. Well, I know, like this article is kind of misleading, or they just don't really have all the facts either, because like I've been kind of keeping up on Baldur's Gate, and for the longest time they've been holding out, telling people that they're going to have this ready, and it's been years, and they've always got this patch and then this patch. My nephew was waiting like 2 years ago for this game to finally be released at a beta. He was still able to play it, but it wasn't released yet.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's a lot of people that's been waiting for this game to be officially released. So it's not like it just was developed and it came out.
Obviously, you said there was 800,000 playing simultaneously, and I guess
Yeah,
was that opening weekend?
that was within one weekend.
That's wild.
Yeah. Um, one argument espoused by IGN's Destin Legarie and a host of other gamers across the internet is that of course Baldur's Gate 3 should set a new standard. Why should anyone have to settle for games that feel unfinished or want to charge you hundreds of dollars for extra outfits even after you've paid $70? Yeah, so that's what they're talking about.
Yeah. Wow, see, context clues, they work.
Yeah. Well, the thing too is like they're talking about unfinished. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3's been unfinished for like 2.5 years. Like,
is it still unfinished now, even with
no,
this?
They say it's finished now, but there's been people, man, that have been playing the game while it's in beta. My nephew was one of them. He's been playing it. They've just now finally made it go from beta to being published as an actual finished game.
How many years you say your nephew was playing? I know you said
It's at least 2 years that I know of.
That's fine.
And my son.
Beta for 2 years? Like, is that standard or is that just an
exception? It's horrible how they do that. Like, they have games out that they're doing beta on, and they just keep on doing it. My son could have played it, and he decided he wasn't going to do it because he was going to wait for the game to finish.
Yeah.
But every time they freaking said that they had a patch, they would freaking turn around and backlog the ending day to where freaking it would take longer for them to get it out than what it was. But he could have played it a long time ago too.
So if you don't choose to play it, like, so is it something that they offer and they're like, hey, if you'd like to play it in beta, you can play it in beta for this time period? Okay, so if you don't get in on it during that time frame, are you pretty much like SOL and you kind of gotta wait for the release, or are there different times or you can just join beta anytime?
I really couldn't tell you. I've never really done a beta, to be honest with you, but I know that it's possible in some games. Like I can go on Steam and play a beta game that's in progress, and if they finish the game, I couldn't even tell you if you get it for free or if you have to pay for it afterwards. I just don't know.
But like, if you contribute to the development, you're not supposed to have to pay. That's our thank you. Like, you've been playing it for 2, 3, however many years. Thank you so much. You know what I mean? We appreciate it. Now, I could understand if there was some type of skins or something like that you had to use for upgrades, and then you got to pay for any upgrades correlated. But I feel like if you've been playing it with longer than a year on beta, then you should definitely get the game for free, because the whole game got developed around your play style. Like, no matter what, and that will be why they push it back, because they learned something new about a new user or a current user or a consistent user, and so it doesn't really make sense to.
Well, see, I kind of have some experience in that with Elder Scrolls, and a lot of people badmouth Elder Scrolls, and they badmouth freaking Bethesda because of Elder Scrolls, but like on Elder Scrolls Online, I have an option when I go in there to freaking download not only the actual game, but I can also go in and download their version of the beta game. So if I want to go in and I want to play the games that they're experimenting with, then I can go do that. But the only thing is it doesn't save long term. After I get to a certain amount of time and I stop playing, it basically deletes my gameplay and I have to start over, you know. But at least I get to play
it. Beta. They watch your usage in beta. I learned that because I have my stuff like that. They do beta.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, I like that style. That's actually pretty smart, you know what I mean? Because they can get their research out of it and still give you the real game, so.
Right, exactly. In a timely fashion, instead of having to consistently push it back based off the play or obtain the information. Right, you're right. But definitely probably. Have you thought about a role play game? I know you were talking about like horseback riding and stuff for your game if you made
Oh,
one, but
I post role playing games all the time.
no, I'm
I'm
making it. Not. I
oh,
know.
making one.
Yeah, because when you're talking about you're learning how to make one, you're not there yet. I
Yeah,
know.
that'd be cool. It
So
wouldn't be that hard to really pull off, to be honest, if you really take time to learn. That's what I want to do, though. I'd like to get into stuff like that, you know.
make it about you, and it'll be you, and you're like, because you were on your journey, like through minds, different stuff, not necessarily you, but in your likeliness, and like different career paths you chose. Even and then, oh, you could do it about everyone you encounter. I know, right? You could do it about everyone you encounter, like Pika's Dave. He was talking about the thing with NASA and stuff like that, so you could kind of have like a character like him that kind of goes in town down in his route. Of course, you would have to ask him, whatever, but no, I think everyone would think that would be so cool, and you could have everyone kind of like not everyone, but like even like minds be a big thing, and even have like the round table where you guys go and you sit and like you just but wow, you have to be wild. It doesn't have to be we're just really thinking about what's going to happen. Like maybe you're plotting some big scheme at the minds round table, but it's something called or the think table or something
Oh,
like that.
it'd be kind of cool though, but like with the characters, if I did it like that with people on mines, um, well,
And
like
would actually look like a moose. Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. Because Dave can kind of look like an alien just because he talks so much about NASA. You can kind of look like a cartoon character because you're talking about making a video game. Oh my goodness, there's so
no,
many. Is there?
what I'd have to do is like I'd have to make it to where you have to go into a shop and like he's in charge of you and he has to tell you to go fix stuff.
Yeah,
You know
what
what
the
I
yeah,
mean?
back shaking his head and like pointing his finger at you like if you do it wrong. Like, that'd be so awesome.
Do stuff like that. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yes. Cool.
But they go on to say, why shouldn't more games be this deep and complex? That guy, and then he goes, yet in reality, Baldur's Gate 3 is a unicorn. There are a number of factors behind the game's resounding success, as we documented early this month, including a killer IP in Dungeons and Dragons and a team with a decade of experience making this type of game. But there's one factor that matters most of all. Larian Studios, the Ghent, Belgium-based developer, is privately owned. So they're privately owned out of Belgium, and that thing that they mentioned too about it's an RPG, that is true. I mean, in Dungeons and Dragons, I mean they're pretty much anchored. There's no, and they get it wrong too. Dungeons and Dragons are owned by the same company, but they're not the same as Forgotten Realms. Forgotten Realms is like Magic, or not Magic, but Wizards of the Coast. That's their baby. You know what I mean? And
Oh, so it's like it's similar to Harry Potter type stuff. That type of magic, wizards and goblins.
no, Wizards of the Coast makes freaking Harry Potter look like a freaking tic-tac-toe game.
Stop it. Let me see. I love wizards. I like magic. Anything with magic. And
Have you ever played Magic the Gathering?
no.
It's a
Uh,
card game.
oh no. How do?
You have mana, everything. You have magical spells.
Uh,
You get to play across from each other and attack one another.
really?
Yeah.
I never heard of it till today. Can you play it online or no?
Yeah, they got it online. I think
Oh,
they just came out with a release to it too on the I think it's on Epic Games. But you can get it on Epic. You can play Magic. It's a really popular game. Well, it used to be. Now people don't play it. They
Magic.
moved
What is it called?
Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering.
But yeah, they pretty much own Dungeons and Dragons now, and they've had Forgotten Realms for a while. I don't know if it's originally theirs or not, but I know that it's theirs. And then they have their card game. but they probably got a few other card games. Magic the Gathering is the only one I really got into.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it. It's all right. I don't like the company. I mean, they're crooked as hell, but they
Every
do have a good good card game. And I don't like what they did with Dungeons and Dragons 5, the 5th edition.
Why?
Well, it's an idiot's guide to frickin' D&D. Like, back when I started, it was when they went from the 2nd edition to the 3rd edition, and then 3.5. And, like, they had THAC0, they took that away. And this was before all of that, you know, before Wizards of the Coast. But they took THAC0 away, and I was cool with it. You know, a lot of my friends stopped playing Dungeons and Dragons because of that, but I figured I'd stick it out, and I was okay with the changeover with the 3rd edition, but then they came out with 3.5, and it kind of was alright. It was a little bit different. Part 4 came along, and it just went to shit.
Completely.
Yeah,
Wow.
completely to shit. And now you get on there and you check out the 5th edition, and like these people are acting like everything in the freaking manuals to tell you how to play or suggest how you play is like written in stone. You know what I mean?
No other way to do it, which makes it suck because you're supposed to make the game your own. You're supposed to figure out stuff even they didn't figure out. The whole point of stuff like betas.
Yeah. It just, you got a lot of these young people who don't know a damn thing about freaking D&D, and they think they do. And I always tell them, I'm like, dude, if you really want to learn how to play the game, go back and play 3.5 or 3. You know, I don't tell them 2. Or the 2nd edition, because I don't think people today could cope with THAC0.
It's just too far off from what they're used to nowadays.
Yeah, it's completely different gameplay.
But 3.5 might parallel a little bit, you said? 3.5? You said 3.5 is started going to crap, though, right?
I ain't gonna say that. They do have some good stuff in 3.5. I do, but 3 is where all of it was basically coming together. That's like the golden age of Dungeons and Dragons, pretty much. You know, it kind of went downhill a little bit for 3.5, but by the time they did the 4th edition, it was horrible. I mean,
do you still play?
I go through the old notes and stuff and make videos out of them. I haven't been able to do any DMing or running of games. I did do some Palladium games with my niece's husband and my son, but that was about it here recently. So
I think once a month on your Saturday show, if you could get people to game with you, that would be so dope to watch. Like different, and every their own.
You can't get people to play role-playing games to get on camera, dude. I mean, like, this is the cream of the crop when it comes to geek. All right, like 100%.
So what? The screen. What's the screen? Everyone, I can't even stand it because like
have you hung out with geeks?
Geeks? Are you kidding me? I don't want to. But it's just like, what do you mean? Like, to me, it's not even a geek. You call it a geek, but it's just like, for me, it's just like, I love nerds, all that stuff. It's so smart. I love.
There's a difference between a geek and a nerd. Okay. Like,
well, you're saying a geek because like a video game geek, but like I understand what you mean, and it's just like you probably can tell me everything about the game. That's cool. Just show the screen. You don't have to show your face if that's what the point is. But like, I think it'd be.
I could probably get some people on to talk about it, but I'd have to really convince them to do it. Maybe stuff like that. You know what I mean? My son actually did an interview with me on YouTube for it. You know, but
drop that link in the chat. I'll definitely support and look at it.
Yeah, I had him go through and explain the freaking stat sheets.
Yes, and everybody in their little Jitsi box and they'd be showing their screen. They don't have to show, like, you know what I mean, their face, and they can show their game and then spend time talking about, okay, so I'm playing D&D, and then, you know what I mean, I'm playing an RPG. Like, you know what I mean? Like, somebody can be playing, I mean, but D&D is an RPG, but I understand, but like, you can do like everything, you know what I mean? Like, to where it's like
Yeah.
action and it's like whatever, and you can have like maybe people that are like, this is what they do, so this person plays this type of game consistently, this person plays, so we can watch your different gaming styles and stuff like that, and just like the different aspects. And like I said, each person can, they have their camera off until it's their turn for us to focus on theirs. And then when it's their turn to focus on the game, even if they don't want to talk about it, just for us to watch it. Of course, we would love for them to talk about it and they can see what they're doing. Maybe if we could get someone in the early stages that's maybe starting a new level, and they're starting a new level and they're showing us how, like, the different upgrades and the different type of features and stuff like that. Like, I mean, I feel like that'd be hardcore.
Yeah, like right here at this part, it gets into what I was talking about earlier. The bulk of the studio's fundings comes from previous hits and from sales of Boulder Gate 3, which was made available to purchase in early access back in 2020. So that's what I'm basically talking about. Like, they gave early access to it, but it took 3 years before it actually came out. So, and
I want to going in that 3 years. Like, that game has to be, and then like you have to see something like that. You would have your nephew come on and about what are the differences. Do you see any major changes from beta and from like now the actual game and stuff like that? Like, when it's stuff like that, that is definitely a topic of discussion. So that way we could see why, what perhaps was 3 years wait worth it, and would you do it again, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, I think that would be a good idea too. It's just getting him to do it. You know, he
Tell him you let him win one round.
oh
Tell him.
he when he does the video games is what's the weird part. And like he's on Steam with me, you know, and we've been trying to do Pokemon together.
Nice.
And we were going to do Starving together on Steam too, because it's gone to 2-player or multiplayer now.
Yeah.
I can't get him to freaking come on and play those things because every time I turn around, he's got to be cool, hang out with his buddies, and play Baldur's Gate 3. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you little asshole, dude. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Roger ain't cool freaking now, but back when you was 7 years old.
Do you not remember where you came from, my guy?
Yeah, I like freaking when he was 7 years old, he loved playing video games with Uncle Roger. You know what I mean? Now all of a sudden I'm just this old fart. He's got to hang out with his cool friends. And
so then you invite friends along, Uncle Roger. Come on, hey, I want your friends to show me, and then let me. Might be kicking his tail, so like, hey, you and your friends, I need you on my stream, and tell them, like, everyone's so excited, and make it seem like they're just the cool kids on the block. Like, hey, everyone's so excited, they would like to hear your gaming style. Come on, they want to hear you guys talk, they want to see what you guys are doing. So I want to stream you live, like everyone's asking about you, and I have so many people that keep asking because I talk about you guys gaming all the time.
He don't even care about that stuff, man. He's the one that got me started in all this video game shit. You know, he's like, yeah, man.
Something.
Back when he was younger, man, he was like, we need to do something with freaking Minecraft, man. We need to, like, make videos of Minecraft and get our own server started, make money off of it, Uncle Roger. And I'm like, yeah, we could do that. And that's how I started doing the video game shit, because I wanted to do it with him. And he just stopped wanting to do it. He just, you know, I mean, here I am doing this shit freaking, like, 10 years later. You know, like, none of them want to do nothing no more, so. And that part earlier might have sounded like I was jealous, and all I gotta say is, hell yeah, I'm freaking jealous, you know. But
You said, hell yeah, I'm jealous.
I am.
Like, yeah, I miss you. We'd be chilling together all the time, and now you're never around. Yeah, I am. I feel a little tight. I'm a little tight right now.
Well, his little brother, freaking Cody, we were like going to sit around and do D&D together, right? And I was going to DM, and we're doing this game, and every time something would come up, where he couldn't be around, I finally told him, like, dude, next time you do that, I'm just going to stop doing it. We just ain't got time for that shit.
Always changing, right?
Yeah, like what finally did it for me is he comes in and says, well, I'm going to run over to my friend's house. We're going to play some D&D and everything. And I'm like, dude, what do you think we're getting ready to do right now? Like, remember. So I was like, that's getting ridiculous when you have to pander to little kids to play games with you. So I was like, nah.
Come play with me. No, but seriously.
No.
What you do is do it on your own and then watch them how they want to jump on your coattail once you go up. Because there's a kid on here, gamer, whatever. You should link with them. They would want to do some shows with you. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And see if I don't know how much they do or what exactly they do. They don't talk too much on their stream. But I was just thinking, like, if you guys could collab and then have them on here showing their games, and you show your games, and then maybe even link. And then even this Zach guy that you got coming in. I said his name right? His name is Zach, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Coming in on Saturday and start, like, and see if he gets into it and see if there's times that you guys can stream.
Well,
Zach, you know what I mean?
Zach does the Walt Disney stuff, and he's into golf and everything, but he's no role playing thing. I've actually had a conversation with some people on Discord, like they like to categorize themselves as RPG players, but then they're referring to the video game RPGs, which is completely different. So the last one that I wanted to get into, but I don't know for sure if we can really cover it too much, is have you ever heard of Resident Evil?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now they're coming out with Resident Evil Villages VR mode, where you can play it virtual reality.
Oh, that's going to be really scary.
Yeah.
Really intense.
Actually, it should be out now because this article was written on December the 15th, 2022. So,
oh yeah.
So I know.
Like, wait a minute, unless it's something like Boulders, because then next thing you know, 2022, and then well, another reason for us to push the date back 3 years from now. That'll be when it actually comes out.
No, they said that Resident Evil VR mode was supposed to be launched the same day as the PSVR 2, and that was on February the 22nd, 2023. Now, if you're planning on picking up the $550 PSVR 2 on launch and don't have any funds to get any actual games for it, you're in luck. If you already own Resident Evil Village, Capcom has announced that owners of the base game or the Golden Edition on PS5 will be able to download the VR mode compatibility free when it launches.
Oh, well, that's good. I already paid the $550 plus the $550 for the set, and now, yeah, that's at least you're getting something out of it. Jeez Louise.
It's a lot of money.
Understatement.
Yeah.
Understatement. You know how much money you can make in the market? I think about flipping money. I guess if you're streaming and it's making you money, that's different. But for me, big purchases have to give me some type of production from it. Like that, I have to get, like, I've been frustrated with my laptop because it have not been having as much use of it, but I've since incorporated more. But it's just in general, like, when you make a purchase so significant, you have to, like, I'd like to be getting something out of it. Something.
Yeah. Now it says right here, like Resident Evil 7, you'll be able to play through the entire campaign in VR. According to a press release, the upcoming VR mode utilizes the 4K HDR display, eye tracking, and 3D audio to make Resident Evil Village more realistic and intense than ever. Those who are maybe too into the incredible tall lady Demescri should also prepare to feel truly dwarfed by the larger-than-life character and creatures that lurk within. Like, have you played The Village?
No, never.
What they're referring to is the freaking main character in the castle that you go into, and she's like a giant.
Mm.
And she wears like this dress, and she's got this like hat that looks like those old-fashioned hats where they fall down over your head.
Yeah, I'm looking her up now.
Yeah, but that's what she looks like, and she's really, really freaking tall. But they said that it's going to be even bigger. She's going to be even bigger. As well as using the upgraded headsets, the VR mode has new gameplay features specific to PSVR 2 Sense controllers. You'll be able to hold up your arms in order to defend yourself against enemies. The weapons apparently feel more realistic with new gameplay elements like dual wielding and natural motions controls to reload firearms and brandishing knives. Brandishing knives. Resident Evil Village's VR mode obviously isn't the only thing Resident Evil fans can look forward to, as just a month later, Resident Evil 4 Remake launches the PS4 and PS5 in GameSpot's Resident Evil 4 Remake preview. And I've had a friend of mine who's been doing that remake on it, and it's actually pretty tight. I've seen him do his videos for it, and from what I've seen, they did a really good job on that.
Nice.
So.
And you have a friend to that? So your friend on like one day and ask them.
Well,
they like.
That's one of the. Oh, actually, I've got like that's one of the guys I was talking about that I'm wanting to get on here to do kind of like a gaming roundtable about Resident Evil from beginning to end.
Oh, okay.
Because one of the guys, his name's he goes by RJ, Casual Hardcore Gamer, and then another guy that I want on there plays with him on PlayStation together. They've been going through Resident Evil 6. Now, I have a disagreement with them on Resident Evil 6 because a lot of people shit talk that game, alright, and their excuses for why that game is so bad is just complete garbage. It's pathetic, okay?
What did they say?
Well, they don't like the fact that Capcom made it like action-packed, and it's not scary like 7 and 8 is. And my whole argument about it was I don't get where all these younger people think that Resident Evil was originally because it wasn't. It was always action packed.
I used to play Resident Evil back like long ago. It's funny, I was more of a gamer before I had children, and now boys I haven't been gaming as much just because I kind of make sure they don't get subjected to some crazy stuff I cannot bring them back from too early.
But for me, it did have that certain element of being scary, but it was more action packed. Like I remember like Raccoon City, that was 100% just a straight up freaking shoot 'em up game. And like now my nephew's getting on Baldur's Gate 3. I see him on the freaking.
You see it while we're talking
Twitch.
and to bring them
shit. But the thing that I have about Resident Evil 6 is the fact that like when it comes to all the games, like it's the most fun to play 2-player on. Like you can actually get on there first of all, and play multiplayer with each other. And before, back in the older ones, you couldn't do that. And me and my nephews would have freaking a ball just sitting there playing that game together. I mean, it's fun when it comes to playing two players and stuff. And I've not only heard him, my friend, talking crap about the game, but I've heard other people do it. And I think the reason why is they have this misconception of what Resident Evil really was about. I mean, even the movie came out and it was action-packed. It was more action-packed than scary. Well, you remember that one, don't you?
The movie?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, but I know of it. I don't like scary stuff. Like, I don't go out of my way to look for scary stuff, or because, like, I'll watch it, you know what I mean? But I'm good. I see scary stuff in real life. So, like, spirits walking around the house and stuff like that is like a natural occurrence for my existence. To add to the heat, I'm pretty good on that. I'm like, yeah, I'm good on that. I think I see enough dead people now.
Yeah, it says on here after that, in GameSpot's Resident Evil 4 Remake preview, we said Resident Evil 4 Remake doesn't feel like it's aiming to revolutionize games the way the original did 17 years ago. Instead, Capcom is doubling down on what has made Resident Evil 4 timeless all these years later. Its design, its tension, and of course, Leon S. Kennedy. And like how I go back to like part 6, 7, and 8, right? Now, the main character mostly in the first ones was Chris, okay? And RJ brought up the fact that they brought Chris onto the game with Leon in Resident Evil 6, which I think is cool. And they thought it was okay too, that actually happened.
Yeah, two mains joining forces.
Right. Well, they were actually bumping heads in part 6, okay, which is kind of even better, you know what I mean? Because like there was always this standoff between the fans about Chris and Leon, who would be the best.
Who's better?
Yeah, and they did that, and that was kind of cool. But I don't think RJ comprehended that, like, they were phasing freaking Leon out just like they phased Chris out with Leon. You know what I mean? Because, like, after that, they come out with Part 7, and Part 7 has a completely different cast of characters in the game, you know what I mean? Than what all of them, like, they still bring Chris back in, but I think that's just more for the fact that he's the legacy, you know what I mean? He goes all the way back to the first game, but they completely phased Leon out altogether. He's not even in the game there in 7 or 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they just completely...
Maybe I was having them to join forces, and they determined that Chris was the better.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes to being the icon of the game, it always was Chris. And a lot of the people who had a problem with Leon was usually upset because they got rid of Chris and brought Leon in his place, so
but they kind of canceled that
yeah, but in 6 and 7, I mean, RJ doesn't even talk about the fact that they don't even have freaking Leon. He got completely phased out of it, you know what I mean? I'm like, come on, dude. I mean,
like, do they talk about it at the end of 6, or do they at least even hint towards
no. Nope.
Wow.
Nothing. It's like, and he doesn't even bring it up. I don't think he understands what happened there. Like, where the fuck did Leon go?
Right. He was just here.
He's so caught up.
Yeah.
He's so caught up on how bad freaking Resident Evil 6 is. Even though when he actually was playing it, all right, and while he's playing it, he's having a ball. Him and his partner, they're having a freaking ball and just getting along, and enjoying the game. But then, like, give him a moment to freaking just be quiet and watch the game and not play it, and he talks shit on it. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? What I mean? He's like sitting there playing the game, going, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh shit, oh shit." But then the moment he has time to sit and watch himself play on the video,
Yeah.
he just talks complete shit about the same game he was just having a ball on.
That's why.
I'm like, that's just not right.
Yeah, we're writing right there.
So, I mean, for me, how can you freaking sit and do that when you know damn well you just had a freaking amazing freaking gameplay? You guys, and I know they had fun. I could see it in their face.
Right.
So that's pretty much all I wanted to get into and everything. And
Do you give commentary and feedback to like the games that you play? I think that you should. If you do not, I feel as though you have a lot to contribute into like the way games are made up and just like different type of aspects and different type of features they might consider implementing. So I feel as though if you're not already, you should see about being vocal to like the writers and the producers of these things, because I feel like that'll expedite growth as well, just in regards to your channel and what you're really into. You're into gaming. Ultimately, eventually, you would like to make your own game. So maybe, like, you know what I mean? When they get, hey, give us some feedback, I feel as though you should definitely do that, especially when it's features you feel as though should be implemented and stuff like that you think would be cool.
yeah,
You should definitely consider that.
the thing about it is though is there's just so much competition in that. You know what I mean? Like making the videos and talking about them and everything's cool, but I mean like you've heard the prices on just the games, and like we've talked about Activision and all that recently. I mean this is like high stakes, like really high stakes, just for you to like get on the games and test them out just to see how you like them. Like
Yeah.
They want you to freaking apply to do that, like become
But like you, I feel like would be a perfect candidate just because you've been playing for so long. Like when you get people that are newbies, and even if they're really good at it, it makes no sense to me in order for them to really have a real solid perspective. Because okay, you started playing Resident Evil at number 4, whatever, number 5, whatever, but you've been playing since when? You know what I mean, type of thing.
Yeah.
And you offer a different type of offer a different type of perspective, and that way your feedback would be, to me, it would be more strategically focused on what could be different, what could be done. You would have a more informed perspective and a more informed experience being able to offer that type of feedback, because people may have played, but like playing it, going back and playing stuff that's been here for forever is different than going through the stages with it. So I feel as though you would be something that they would consider essential, or at least extremely useful, that they would like to be able to utilize just because you have that type of experience. Because I hear what you're saying, yeah, but it's a field of people that are doing it now, not a field of people that have been doing it forever and have actual feedback. And then, you know what I mean, like people.
Yeah.
That have been doing it forever, they're not streaming. A lot of these people are kind of in their house, in their hermit mode, and just doing their game thing. You offer both sides of the spectrum. So you'll have it to where you've been doing it for forever, you're already doing your streaming, and like that to them, that's money. That's money. They're like, wow, okay, yeah, we could definitely use his feedback. We could definitely use his.
Well, this right here is starting it out. You know what I mean? I mean, this is what it is. What we're doing right now. Maybe they'll start listening. You know.
Right.
I mean,
them on YouTube, tagging them and stuff like that.
Exactly. Well, I better get off this stream and get things going. I appreciate you for showing up again, Karma. And
yeah, schedule. I make sure I have time for you every day now, unless it's like something seriously drastic. I'm gonna be here.
I appreciate it, and
yeah,
I'm glad that you were here. So I am going to end this stream and say thanks to everybody who did stop in to watch us, and I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you all.
Alrighty, good night. See you later.
You too.